Our last match of the day is Team USA going up against Team Canada.
I remember last year at Santa Monica, it was the first group, it was actually the only group stage. It was pretty surreal, right? Because I didn't play on a single LAN match for like 8 months before that. And then we got there and just hearing the fans roaring USA and seeing all the flags and people were like super into it. It was crazy. And it just made me want to win even more for them. And then we went to BlizzCon and you have a stadium of 8,000 people just cheering around you that was packed.
You know, kind of Canada doesn't have as much nationalistic pride, I guess, as, you know, other countries like the US might. But it still just feels really cool, you know, to just be like, I'm on Team Canada. You know, it feels really nice to just be the ambassador of the country.
Yeah, I have a lot of national pride. Last year I represented Team USA in the World Cup. That was before the Overwatch League existed, so the biggest tournament in my life was that. It still is actually, even throughout the whole season of the Overwatch League, because we didn't qualify for playoffs. That USA run we had last year still sits really deep in my heart. Like we played for the crowd, we played for the country, and we wanted to prove that USA was the best country and that we could compete with South Korea and whatnot.
This is where XQC can take advantage of Sinatra, though, with a big earth shatter. He knocks down Sinatra. He forces him into the corner. The more experience of the Reinhardt players, but they don't get any kills off of it.
The sound barrier was well timed. Matt and the USA able just to weather the storm. Self-destruct thrown into the back from Canada, but it doesn't find anyone this time. Unsuccessful for Note, and Buddy's in trouble. Muma's going to chase him down. The USA, oh, they're in control, all right.
It just, it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's kind of like it's a different feeling than representing like the Outlaws or something, because, we're not from Houston, obviously, even though it feels great to represent the area because it's, such a cool place, but representing the place that you grew up and, where you lived your whole life it has a particular meaning. And just everything around that, I guess it includes the jersey, but it's not, specific to it. It makes it feel really special.
Putting on the USA jersey is a bit different than putting on my Outlaws jersey. So I'm one of the 7 starting Americans for the team. And there's no one else can say that. Like, there could be new players added onto the Outlaws in the future. There might be a world where I'm not on it, but there'll never be a place in 2018 where I'm not on it, and that means a lot. It means a lot to be representing our country and people having faith in me.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly super cool. It's I've looked up to World Cup and I've watched it for the last 2 years, and I never had a chance to try out. So I've been watching it and being like, man, I hope that's me one day. So being able to represent my entire country instead of just a small a city or whatever, it's a super cool, very different experience.
And now Canada have the high ground, Luke. Raining damage down.
And this one, it looks like it will go over to Canada, Mitch. Moth gets on the point, he will fall.
I was approached by Arrow, who's coaching Team USA. He was like, hey, I want you to try out. He was impressed with the way I played over the course of the season in the Overwatch League. So we did the tryout process, and I ended up finally in the final 12. And then after more careful consideration, I was in the final 7.
But 4 days after the season started, or the season ended rather, we did tryouts. So no one took a break. We were like, okay, we gotta grind, make Team USA. And for some reason, the second Team USA happened, again, something clicked in my head, and I've never played better than I've ever played until now. And I'm playing the best Overwatch I've ever played, and I'm gonna keep the streak on going into season 2.
It started with a team of 18 players. So there's 6 players from open trials, or 12 players from open trials, I guess, and then 6 Overwatch League players, or maybe it was 7, something around there anyway. And then we kind of did some internal scrims where we swapped the teams back and forth, see who plays better with who, kind of thing like that. Eventually we trimmed it down to 12 players, and then eventually we decided on the 7 who actually go to the event.
Bunny gets just splattered there by that primal rage for the USA. They started off this fight well. They did dig through a lot of their remaining ultimates, but it's worked out for them now. It's everyone into the traffic. I feel like Note does want to stagger, but doesn't want to die to traffic. Let it be done.
I kind of, for me, I personally know his weaknesses, and I know how, I know his tendencies and what he wants to do, because it's hard to shake a player who naturally just wants to do something, and I feel like that's going to be in favor for us. It's not really weird. If anything, I find it exciting because I want to see if I'm right, see if I see if I remember everything correctly. So I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to playing against Muma, especially because, he's playing Winston, I'm playing support, so we're going to be meeting each other a lot in game specifically. So it's going to be fun to actually experience what it's like to play against the best Western off tank, or best Western main tank rather.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing I'm most excited for World Cup. I've played with BaniOW for so long and Linkser as well. I'm excited to finally be on the other side of the stage with them, just because I think it'll be fun, and it'll definitely be a learning experience as well. I think like we'll be able to like take what we learned from playing against them and maybe hopefully bring that back to Outlaws, and like maybe it might help.
But XQC, very hard to shift on the point. The Orisa's not going anywhere. Muma though, Primal Rage, this is where it could get a little bit scary. The Transcender's popped on the high ground by Crimzo, and Muma says, no, we're not giving your team the rest of this healing. Now I'm going to chase you down. And Muma's spending his whole time in the backline being the aggressor here. Probably a nice change for him over what he's been playing this weekend. Sinatra gets out the cannons, finishes the job on towards XQC, and Shortfall now is in a bit of trouble. Trying to dog dodge and dive away. It won't be enough. Note sitting on the point here, getting hacked immediately. He can't do a thing except fire the auto cannons, and now in desperation, Canada throw themselves at the point to try and at least have a presence there. But an EMP seems to just be for good measure. Shortfall sleeping on the job. He probably wants to close his eyes. He doesn't want to see any of this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're gonna give it our 100%. So we're not gonna troll on purpose. We might pick some really unorthodox things to maybe throw them off and like get a free win. But everything we're doing, I think, is going to be 100% trying to win.
Oh yeah, we were making comps and shots just for Canada. We haven't showed a single one. Like actually not a single one, because there was no team to show it against.
Agility just holds on. Space in deep trouble. You need love to just drag this one out. Make it real painful for the US. As Team Canada look to make their way back into the series, and now it's just overtime. Hydration got bionated, and the rest of the team won't get there. Yes. Oh yes! This is what we came for.
I never want to walk off the stage after losing, so yeah, I guess. But I mean, I'm gonna put my all in because the BlizzCon's so far away. So who really knows what the meta is going to be by that time? So might as well go all out,
Canada looks like they know that too. They're trying to group up. Muma is actually behind. He is behind Canada. They've given him the nano boost now that forced the Transcenders out of him. Now they have to use the EMP. Canada digging very deep just to get to the payload, but they're down a player already. Make it 2-4 up for Canada now. And BaniOW gets a quick sleep on Muma, but it's going to take more than that. Muma's stunned, booped up, knocked away. Still alive though, as XQC is down. And there is only one monkey to rule the jungle now. The United States of America will take the series. It's a stored defense on Rialto. This is our home, this is our city, this is our map.
How does this year's World Cup team for USA compare to last year?
I feel, to be honest, I feel like it's a bit stronger. I feel that we have more experience against the Eastern teams, and that was like a huge problem we had last year. Compared to skill-wise, I think we're all equal, and I think that we're going to give every single team an insane run for their money, and I think we'll win this year.
I was going to ask you, do you think you can do it? He just answered it right there. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Rawkus and Team USA.